Good morning. Hand today is going to be pocket eights. We are early position. We open raise. It gets around and the big blind calls. So our raise is pretty standard with our hand. Question is, what's villain's raise? Right now he's playing 38-13, but we only have 8 hands. We do have some information on what hands he has played. So called 2 bets from the blinds. He's got a 3-bet range. 3-bet blind versus steal range. So this is, I don't really know what all he's going to have because of, the stat numbers. Is he consistently loose and 3-bet with some of those suited aces? Or out of the blinds versus an early position, is he going to be much tighter, like only raising queens plus ace queen suited ace kings? And how wide is his calling range? Is he really 38%? Is he a little bit tighter because I'm early position? I don't know, but I'm gonna give him just kind of a range that looks like this, and take notes once we know what he called with. So heads up, we go to the flop. 10-6-2 rainbow. We are in position on this hand. This is definitely a hand that we can bet, or I think we can check. We could probably check here too. Range-wise, we should have the range advantage. I think there's a lot of hands that we would be betting with. I think Queen 8 ends up being a hand that's probably somewhat of a mixed strategy here. Sometimes we check just to protect our checking range. 10. When a 10 comes out on the flop, it hits a lot of a calling person's range. So let's see, if we're going to do top pair plus as our bet, we would include our gut shot draws. We have those gut shot draws. We would include probably some of these 2-card backdoor flush draws as bluff range. These pocket pairs, less than the top card, I think becomes bluffs. Not sure how much of an overcard we're gonna do. If we do these 2-card backdoor flush draws, I think we got all of these because we have, they're including some of the gut shots like 7, 8, 9, but we also have like middle hands that if we're in the middle, it kind of blocks some of his middle cards. I hate to say it, but it's probably close to 100%. So, even with the overcards, like ace king, ace queen, probably lead those. So we'll just go ahead and say that's what we see bet. He calls. The question is, what is he calling with? We're going to say a minimum of top pair. Probably he'll call gut shots. Would he call with any of these other pairs? Maybe. The board. I know I probably would because the board's not really going to hit him. And the question is, what other junk hands is he going to call? Is he going to call with overpairs or not? If he calls with overpairs, that's a lot. It goes from 50% calling to 75% calling range. So maybe he does. Maybe he's going to be crazy like that. So we'll see. I called Jack Diamonds comes out. That hits a lot of Jack 10s. We're going to, if we had King Queen, it's going to give us open ender. I think we're going to check if we had some of those draws because we don't want to bet and then get raised. And I think this is where I start making some mistakes. Some things I'm starting to learn from. Because if he check raises me, he often has like 10 jack, probably 2 pair. And if I have flush draw or the open ender, I'm going to probably get the odds to call, but I'm not really going to like it because I'm increasing my variance at that point. So I think if we bet, I think we can continue betting some of the top pairs, top pair plus. I think our draws are better draws. I don't really want to bet them. I think we can bet our gut shots because we don't mind, just folding to them. But then I think with some, we're going to have to get like these cards. Flush draw, open enders. We're going to have to balance those with some premium hands. So maybe with like a top pair, maybe like ace jack checking, or maybe an overpair checking as well. Just to keep them in the range. That's the theory. So we bet. We're gonna say something like this, and I'm not thrilled with this bet. We're turning our eights into a bluff at this point. I think we've got some value here. He's already demonstrated he likes something, and the jack could have connected. He could have called with the queen jack as well, over cards. So I don't really like this bet here on the turn. 6 of hearts comes down, pairs the board. Plan probably just check behind, take the showdown, which is what we did. And villain shows ace 10. So that was a hand that's in his range. Oops. Yeah, we didn't. Let's see here, 6. Yeah, we didn't kind of plan out what was he going to call with. Yeah, it's one of those. I think if he calls with the middle pair, he's probably going to call again with the middle pair. So once we get down to the 6 of hearts, he has it. So I'm curious, what would GTO say about this, about my plays? So I think what we're going to do is get that up and running. All right, so we're getting GTO up. I've got my ranges, got the flops. Next thing I have to do is just kind of get my bets, or starting pot. So it's 6.4. We are about 100 deep. We'll say 97 deep. We will do the advanced. We'll do that. Default bet size, we'll say 50%. 50%, but we don't want him to donk. So we built the tree. We're going to edit it briefly. So we have his check. That's what we're going to do. We've got a 56%. We're going to do a 33%. And we are going to do a 66%. Okay, accept changes, confirm. We're going to run the solver and we'll be back. All right, this is a long one. So we've got 100% check. Now it looks like we are betting nearly 100% here, which we're right about. So we're betting basically all of our ranges. Looks like we're favored. Sometimes we're favored larger, like trips. Looks like we're betting larger. Sometimes we're favored smaller. So like 9s and 8s seem to be betting a little bit more on the smaller side. More often, betting half pot seems to be okay. It seems like any size is okay. 6s, we're betting larger. 10s, we're betting larger. So it looks like sets, we're betting larger. Over pairs, probably half pot region. To the jacks, I mean, it's kind of a mixed. No one size looks like overly favored. So gut shots kind of go larger. Some of our bluffs, it looks like it goes larger. So we bet half pot. That's right, he calls. And then we had a jack of diamonds. All right, so villain still checks to us, and now once we bet, now we should be checking, and that's what I kind of thought. I thought we would be checking here. We're still betting top pair plus. Got just a very few. Occasionally we get check here. There's one kings, slight check, middle pair. It's like the 10s. We can get a check here. Still wants us betting the flush draw, not 10-9, so that's, middle pair with the flush draw. I can take that. I kind of am worried that if I bet here, I'm going to get raised, and then we're going to have to fold. So if I get raised, it looks like I'm calling with those flush draws, and some of them we could raise again, because we are balancing, we are raising with, you know, sixes and jacks and so forth. So maybe that's just what I have to do. Take the variance. I'm gonna have to bet it. If I get raised, I get raised. I call it. I should be getting the correct size. Now I wonder what happens if we change this and increase the size up to like a pot size bet. Would it still be a call or not? So made the mistake. I should have checked here instead of betting. I did bet. He called, and this was the six of hearts, I believe. So once it came six of hearts, then, you know, those under pairs were still checking. We kind of knew that. We're betting over pairs. We're betting full houses. Two pair looks like we're checking, but top pair we're not. It seems a little interesting. So the top pair, basically ace jack, king jack we're betting, but queen jack, jack nine we're not. So probably harder if we bet. You know, what hands is he going to call? He's top pair, two pair. You know, if we have queen jack, nine jack, we're going to be up against, you know, some calls that could beat us. So GTO, like the c bet, that's good, but I should have just checked the turn instead of betting. That was a mistake on my part. So hopefully you like this hand. If you do, look tomorrow for another one.